Firstly, we established a platform called the Let the Citizen Know, through which we engage directly with citizens, providing regular, relevant, bi-weekly information on our operations. Indeed, during the recent voters' registration exercise, we provided citizens with information on daily registration statistics, such as numbers of countrywide registrants, number of male-female voters, number of youth, number of first-time voters, and persons with disabilities, among others. We also use the platform to address the concerns of citizens, offering feedback in a timely manner. Distinguished guests, in addition to the Let the Citizen Know platform, we also engage citizens using traditional and new media. This has enabled us to bring the Commission to the living rooms of our citizenry. On a daily basis, we disseminate simple, reader-friendly information through colorful infographics that illustrate all aspects of our work. Hitherto, this was not the case. As a Commission, one of the mechanisms we have employed to broker consensus on key aspects of the electoral process is the Inter-Party Advisory Committee. This platform brings together the leadership of the political parties, civil society, development partners, and the Commission together to discuss pertinent issues around our electoral process. Indeed, despite the COVID-19 pandemic, we succeeded in holding at least one meeting every month and 2 meetings a month in the last quarter of this year. I must say that total consensus on all issues has not always been achieved. Nonetheless, we have managed to achieve the agreement of the majority on all the Commission's decisions, with the understanding that the peace and stability of our dear nation is our utmost priority. It is gratifying to note, however, that in our last 2 meetings, the 2 major political parties agreed on key issues regarding this election. The most recent being the unanimous consensus with the Electoral Commission's position that the election day be designated as a holiday. This is a positive move that we hope signals more consensus building beyond the election. I'll now turn my attention briefly to the arrangements we've made to ensure a credible, fair, transparent, orderly, timely, and peaceful election on Monday, the 7th of December. I'm pleased to note that as a result of effective planning and a distribution process, all our election materials have been distributed to the 38,622 polling stations across the country. We have deployed 74,800 new biometric verification devices to the field. Feedback from the recent special voting, which took place on the 1st of December, indicates that the equipment functioned effectively and enabled the prompt verification of voters at all polling stations across the country. We believe that the efficiency of the devices will enhance the voters' experience on the election day. Distinguished gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in the Commission's history, ballot papers have been printed and distributed some 2.5 weeks before the election. The early planning and distribution of our logistics has helped ease pressure on our officials, allowing the Commission and its officials enough time to strategize well ahead of the election. We believe that this will improve the overall quality of the election. Distinguished guests, we are mindful of the fact that we are not in normal times. Even without the slightest inclination of the COVID-19 virus at the start of the year, we have nonetheless put in place stringent safety protocols, procuring the necessary items to ensure the safety and security of all stakeholders at all our centers. We were able to test our safety protocols during the 38-day registration exercise. and this would be replicated on election day. Interestingly, we saw a rapid decline in the COVID-19 cases during and after the registration exercise. And we believe that the stringent protocols put in place by the Commission, coupled with the government's own programs, contributed to this reduction. Beyond the polling stations, we have put in place arrangements at all our collation centers to curb the spread of the virus. Projectors and screens have been provided in each of the 275 collation centers and 275 constituency collation centers and 16 regional collation centers on which results will be displayed. This would prevent the gathering of persons around laptops to view the collated results, thereby minimizing crowding and curbing the spread of the virus. Distinguished guests, recognizing that the performance of our field officers is key to the successful conduct of the election, we provided a 3-week rigorous training program on all aspects of our election cycle to some 240,000 field officials. We are confident that with the skills acquired, our field officials will deliver their functions effectively and efficiently. Additionally, for the first time in the Commission's history, all field officials have signed a binding and enforceable code of conduct to abide by the rules and directives of the Commission. On the issue of security, 1 year ago, we initiated engagements with the National Election Security Task Force, headed by the Inspector General of Police, and have continued to provide them with relevant information, including details of all our polling stations, collation centers, and our conflict-prone areas. We are confident that with the arrangements of the security agencies, we would ensure and see law and order throughout the election process. Distinguished guests, in our bid to reduce tension around the election, we plan to declare the results within 24 hours. Whilst this may seem ambitious to some, others have expressed concern about the accuracy of results declared just 24 hours after the election. I assure you that the results will be a true reflection of the will of the people as documented on the results collation sheets, namely the pink sheets. The only aspect of our processes that has changed is the efficiency we have built into them. We are confident that with the total commitment of all our officials, we will witness the timely delivery of accurate results for the 2020 presidential and parliamentary elections. So help us God. For the first time, we have made the register available to voters in 3 formats. Voters can now verify their details on our website through a USSD short code and via a phone app. This has helped reduce the anxiety that most voters would normally have with a new register. Finally, as part of our efforts to strengthen the credibility and integrity of our processes, we have provided training and accreditation to some 25 international and local observer groups. We are confident that the independent assessments, will go a long way to ensure the credibility and integrity of our processes and the election as a whole. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to note that the level of transparency and openness of the Commission, as well as its responsiveness to the citizenry, has helped reduce suspicion and build trust and confidence in the Electoral Commission. We are confident that the various efforts employed by the Electoral Commission will result in a credible and peaceful election. In the long run, these efforts would yield great benefits for our country, helping to foster peace, stability, and development. May God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong. Let peace reign. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Ghana. I wish to recognize in our midst a representative of the President of ECOWAS, General Francis A. Behanzen, Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security. General Francis A. Behanzen. This is being organized under the auspices of the Office of the Chief Imam, the National House of Chiefs, and the National Peace Council as co-conveners. IDEG is the technical convener. May I invite to the podium Commissioner of Police, Dr. George Ekufu Dampare. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Your Excellency, the former President of the Republic of Ghana, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the National Election Security Task Force, which is headed by the Inspector General of Police, I would like to give this brief account of the security services preparation towards election 2020. I must say that our preparation for this election started immediately the previous one ended, because we see security as a process and not an event. On that score, the strategy we put in place have 8 main components. The first one is to do with training and retraining of all security personnel based on our lessons learned from the previous elections. And this training has been very internal, except that in the course of the training, we've worked in partnership with many stakeholders, both within the country and also our external partners. And this has conditioned the police officers and all the other security agencies prepared to face the challenges ahead of delivering a peaceful elections for this country. The second component of this strategy is to do with voter register compilation security strategy, which we have also operationalized, seeing to the successful compilation of the voter register for the 2020 elections. We are aware that there were 1 or 2 instances where there were security challenges, which we have factored into the subsequent components of the security arrangement that we have. The third component is the electioneering campaign security strategy, where we see to it that all the people, all the parliamentary presidential candidates crisscrossing the country are well positioned in terms of the space that they need from the security point of view to go about their campaigning successfully. Fortunately for us, that has also been so far very successful. And we have a few days to end that aspect, and we thank God for that. The third component is election material security management. The election material security management, we've worked with the EC and all the political parties and other stakeholders to see to the printing, storage, transportation, and therefore custody of all these materials across the country. And as we speak, all these materials are in the safe custody of the police, and at the right time on the D-days, these materials will be put forward under the same safe custody arrangement to ensure that we have the materials where they are needed for successful use for the purpose of the election. We have also have issues with security for the special voting, where the strategy has also been implemented in a way that we are confident and we are happy with the results from that exercise. Few lessons that were learned have also been picked on that we are using to improve the situation ahead on the D-Day. The next thing that we've worked on in terms of the component of that strategy is the election day security arrangement, where across the country we are putting people at all the polling stations, police officers and other security agencies at the polling stations, at the collation centers, and also where we have patrols across all the areas that we need to also patrol, to ensure that at the end of the day, everywhere that we're supposed to be and everywhere that we're supposed to do, and ensuring that there is peace and stability, and ensuring that the people will be able to go about their duties of voting and their socio-economic activities are also peaceful without any challenge. The other component, which is the seventh component, is to do with the post-election situation. That's the security strategy that we have for that. And this includes possible runoff, if any, and it also includes the swelling of the president, and beyond that, ensuring that all those exercises are also carried on successfully without any problem. The eighth component, which is to do with ensuring that we continue on our traditional function of maintaining law and order, because we don't want to be so much focused on the election security such that we forget the traditional responsibility of maintaining law and order, of which the election security is just a component. So putting all this arrangement in place, we want to assure the good people of this country that we are ready to deliver on our constitutional mandate of ensuring that there is a safe and secure environment for all of them to go about their socio-economic activities and also to have the freedom and the space to cast their ballot. They should go out there without fear and without any hindrance and just demonstrate that civil responsibility of electing the leaders of this country, and we will have their back. And I repeat, we will have their back. But to end, we want to assure you that we can succeed if we get your cooperation. And we know that at all levels, at the individual levels, at the community levels, at the leadership levels, at the traditional levels, at civil society levels, and also at the religious bodies levels, we will get that cooperation. And because today is about signing a pact, a peace pact, I would like to take this opportunity to urge our leaders who are vying for office of this country to help us to maintain the peace and the stability of this country. Their leaders would follow us that when they speak to, they listen. And if they do so, and do that with the passion and the patriotic commitment, we will get to where this country will continue to enjoy the peace and the stability which has become the envy of many. I thank you very much.
The paper is on the floor, madam. The paper is on the floor. The paper.
Thank you very much, COP George Ekufu Dampare. That was reassuring. Nananum, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to a very important part of this occasion, and that is to hear our two presidential aspirants speak to us. It's my singular honor to invite to the podium His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the former President of the Republic of Ghana and flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress.
His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency Ellen Sirleaf Johnson, the former President of the Republic of Liberia, and let me stand on existing protocol in the interest of time. Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Peace be upon you, Assalamu alaikum. As we end our campaigns tomorrow and prepare to vote on Monday, I pledge to ensure peace and preserve the stability of our dear nation, Ghana. Elections are about counting heads and not cutting heads, and so we'll work together towards peaceful elections. I urge the security agencies, voters, and all stakeholders to ensure law and order. We expect to see all security personnel behave professionally, all those deployed for elections to be in uniform with visible name tags and service numbers. Let us strive to prevent the violence of the past, particularly as witnessed in early 2019 during the Awasu West Wogon by-elections, which till date has gone unsanctioned. Ladies and gentlemen, our country stands at a critical juncture of its history. Never have the lives of so many depended on the power of a thumb. Now more than ever, we need the institutions of our democracy to work impartially to deliver an outcome that is fair, transparent, and in the national interest. The Electoral Commission, the judiciary, the security services, and the media hold the future of our nation in their hands. The United States of America has set an example for us where institutions of democracy have upheld the Constitution despite severe verbal and legal assaults by losing incumbents. Will our institutions perform the same in the face of a similar situation? Recent events under the current administration have given many anxious moments of doubt about this administration's ability to deliver a peaceful, violence-free election. The events of Ayawaso West Wogon are fresh in our minds. This administration's refusal to sanction persons involved in assaulting an honorable member of parliament and injuring scores of people remain one of the darkest days in our democratic history. Reckless remarks by leading members of the ruling party that the unfortunate events of Ayawaso West Wogon were just a dress rehearsal for the actual election do not inspire confidence for the delivery of a peaceful election. A subsequent intervention by the Peace Council led to the two leading parties, the National Democratic Congress and the New Patriotic Party, signing an agreement of 22 deliverables for the eradication of vigilantism. Of these 22 deliverables, 18 were dependent on government. As far as I'm aware, the government has failed to sign the agreement. The loss of 3 lives in the course of a regular voter registration exercise also gives cause for worry. The military siege of the Volta region and other locations during the registration exercise created an intimidatory atmosphere akin to a nation at war. But ladies and gentlemen, we are optimistic. In the face of similar doubts in the past, Ghanaians have risen to the occasion and delivered a peaceful, successful election. It is my prayer that despite our deepest fears, we shall be proved wrong, and Ghana will once again be proven to be the beacon of democracy in Africa. We've done it before, and we can do it again. Let us on Monday exorcise the ghost of Ayawaso West Wogon. My name is John Dramani Mahama, and I stand for peace. Let there be peace in Ghana. Let there be peace in Ghana before, during, and after the elections. God bless our dear nation, Ghana, and God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress. I am recognizing that the chairman of the National Democratic Congress is here. Shall we acknowledge him? And the General Secretary of the NPP is also here. The chairman of NPP is also here. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for coming. Again, It is an honor to invite to this podium His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic of Ghana and flag bearer of the new Patriotic Party. Mr. President.
Eminent clergy, Christian and Muslim, the former President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the former President of the Republic of Liberia, Her Excellency Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Chief Justice, and the other security, traditional, and civil dignitaries, conveners of the conference, members of the diplomatic corps, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to be part of this event that seeks to highlight the importance of peace in our country as we go to the polls on 7th December on Monday. And I thank the conveners for the invitation to be here and say a few words this morning. This is the third time I've participated in this ceremony. The first two as leader of the opposition, and the third as President of the Republic. On both previous occasions, I've held to my part of the Peace Pact, and on this third occasion, as President of the Republic, I will do the same. I stand here as the representative of the new Patriotic Party, a political party founded on the strong belief that Ghana is best governed under a constitutional arrangement that guarantees multi-parties. We come from a long tradition that believes in disputes being settled by superior arguments and not by violence. It has been a long and tortuous journey that has brought this nation finally to this fourth republic and the consensus of a multi-party democracy. We believe in elections. We have always done. And we in the NPP can safely claim, without any fear of contradiction, that every improvement that has brought more widespread credibility to our electoral process has been at our instigation. The younger generation might not even be aware that the use in the electoral process of transparent ballot boxes and photo IDs were initially resisted. We believe in an electoral process that is genuinely free and fair and in which the people can have confidence. We believe in an electoral process in which the losers will feel they've been in a fair fight and would willingly congratulate the winners and go back to regroup to seek more persuasive ways to convince the electorate. It is in the interest of the political parties that there's not only an absence of violence, but that there is no tension, and that there's a truly peaceful atmosphere throughout the country. I would like to call upon the security agencies to be up and doing their work and making sure that the atmosphere in our country is one conducive to the conduct of a fair and transparent process. The strictures as to the consequences of IAS West Wagon may be an opportunity for all of us to look at issues. I myself do not want to use this platform to engage in controversy, but merely to state that whatever were acceptable recommendations of the Commission of Inquiry have been faithfully adhered to by the government. The best manifesto policies and promises will come to naught if there is no peace. You can assemble the sharpest brains and the greatest workaholics to run a government if there's no peace. Your promises remain promises, and you can even have a combination of the best policies, the brightest and most hardworking and incorruptible people to run the government if there's no peace. You cannot deliver on your promises. I would say, therefore, that we, the politicians and political parties, have the most to lose if there's no peace. I dare say there are some organizations and some individuals whose very existence depend on continuing turmoil in Africa and African nations being led to believe they will remain poor, dependent, and underdeveloped forever. I do not ask that we behave like the famous three monkeys and see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil. But I do not think we help our situation very much when all we see is evil, all we hear is evil, and all we speak is evil. I'm not suggesting that we cover up our failings in any way. We're nowhere near where we should be. There's still poverty, young people remain at risk, and the public purse is not as properly guarded as it should be. But there is a lot that we can and should be proud of, and these two should be part of the narrative. One being the consistent effort made by the Ghanaian people to ensure the peace and stability of our nation. In the immediate matters that concern all of us, I would say we have conducted admirably the electoral process thus far. In the midst of a global pandemic, the Electoral Commission has compiled a credible voters' register, arguably the most credible in our history. The special voting process passed off peacefully, with all political parties happy with the process. It does not help that a would-be reputable media organization puts out a totally false story that the EC had been caught with illegally printed excess ballots. If we are concerned about peace, such media outlets should be condemned by all. Such deliberate malice heightens tensions and incites passions unnecessary. We in the NPP want a credible election conducted in a peaceful and tranquil atmosphere. We're certain we have a track record that will make Ghanaians vote to renew our mandate. Just as it was in 2016, we want this victory to be sweet and incontestable. I've said that we believe in elections, and I'm happy to give my word that we shall accept the verdict of the people of Ghana. Above all, I pledge that the peace, unity, and safety of Ghana will be our primary consideration. May God bless us all in our homeland, Ghana, and make her great and strong. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this point in time, we're going to sign the Presidential Election Peace Pact. And we want to invite His Lordship Kwesi Enim-Yabua, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, who will give us a brief speech and read the Peace Pact 2020 to our hearing. Thereafter, he will administer the signing and witnessing of the Peace Pact by the presidential aspirants and the chair of the National Peace Council, the president of the National House of Chiefs, and the executive director of IDEC. When he is about to administer the signing, I would want to respectfully invite Her Ladyship, Justice Cynthia Pamela Addo, Secretary, to assist the Chief Justice in exercising this. She will do that with Dr. Emmanuel Akwete. Please, my Lord.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, Your Excellency, the former President, please permit me to stand on the existing protocol for sake of brevity. It gives me great pleasure to speak at this gathering. Ghana's democracy, like all others, hinges on the consent of the governed. The citizenry has a expectation to have systems built to protect the individual's right and ensure that there is access to a ready mechanism to secure those rights. On no other institution does the burden of building such a society weigh heavier than on the judiciary. Our law courts are thus much more than the arena for deciding who is right or wrong. They are the ultimate theater in the continuous battle to defend our republic from collapse. This duty becomes more pronounced in the quadrennial contest to decide who leads the republic in terms of governance. Elections are by their very nature tense affairs. There is so much energy, passion, and resources invested that the potential for conflict and misunderstanding cannot be underestimated. It also speaks directly to the very essence of our republic, that the will of the people must be fully and properly reflected in the results of each electoral contest. This imposes a duty of fairness, transparency, and even-handedness in the entire process on all the institutions whose duty is to manage that process, and this includes the judiciary. In recognition of this responsibility of the judiciary and in preparation towards the achieving speediest resolution of election disputes, a 4th edition of Manual on Election Education in Ghana has been launched. I am happy to announce to you that with the benefit of hindsight, all election disputes shall not go beyond 42 days in case of the presidential elections, should there be any, and the manual contains guidelines to that effect. This is how the Supreme Court and the judiciary as a whole will deliver electoral justice. We are poised to play our role in protecting the peace we so much cherish. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for this opportunity, and may God bless our homeland Ghana to continue to triumph and shine. Thank you. This is the 3rd high-level meeting on Presidential Elections Peace Pact 2020. Eradicating electoral violence in Ghana's democracy, the role of political leadership. 1. We, the presidential candidates of the 2 political parties in this country, namely the New Patriotic Party, NPP, and the National Democratic Congress, NDC, met at the Moving Pick Ambassador Hotel on this 4th day of December 2020 at the instance of the National Peace Council, the National House of Chiefs, and the National Chief Imam of Ghana, with the objective of securing peaceful elections in December 2020 and the judicial resolution of electoral disputes. 2. Ghana's track record in organizing peaceful and credible elections in the 4th Republic. 3. Recollecting the Kumasi Declaration, which was signed by the presidential candidates of the 2012 elections, committing themselves to taking a stand against electoral violence, impunity, and injustice in Ghana, as well as the 2016 Declaration on a commitment to peaceful elections and judicial resolution of election disputes. 4. Taking cognizance that Parliament has unanimously passed the Vigilantism and Related Offences Act 2019, whilst the political parties under the Council have signed a code for the issue of vigilante violence. 5. In mind, in spite of this act and code of conduct, sporadic violence has been reported in several constituencies during and after the 2020. 6. Ensure our deep commitment to peace in all political activities before, during, and after the December 2020 elections, hereby declare as follows. 1. That we hereby commit ourselves and our supporters to peaceful elections in the December 2020 general elections. 2. That we undertake to accept the results of the said elections. 3. That we undertake to restrain our supporters from resorting to violence in the aftermath of the said elections. 4. That we are committed that we are committed to the judicial resolution of all election disputes. 5, that we have committed to taking all necessary and appropriate measures to deepen our democracy and to preserve Ghana's well-deserved reputation as haven of peace, stability, and constitutionalism on the African continent. And lastly, that we are committed to working together to undertake constitutional reforms in order to eradicate the root causes of vigilante violence in Ghana. Adopted at Peak Ambassador Hotel, Accra, on Friday, December 4th, 2020, by the presidential candidates of the National Democratic Congress and New Patriotic Party of the 2020 elections. 1. His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana, flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. 2. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, former President of the Republic of Ghana and flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress. Witnessed by His Lordship Justice Eni Yeboah, Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, His Eminence Sheikh Osman Nuhu Sharabutu, National Chief Imam, Reverend Dr. Enes Edujemfi, Chairman of the National Peace Council, Oji Ahoho Yao JB II, President, National House of Chiefs, and lastly, Dr. Emmanuel O. Akwiti, Executive Director, IDEC.
Thank you very much, His Lordship Chief Justice Eni Yeboah. At this point, may I respectfully invite the parties to the table. The document is here for signing, which I hand over to the Chief Justice, to be assisted by her ladyship, Justice Cynthia Pamela Addo, the Judicial Secretary, and Dr. Akwiti. I think this calls for a round of applause. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. Your Excellencies will take their seats and we'll have the witnesses. Your Lordship, the Chief Justice, we also call upon the now President of the National House of Chiefs thereafter. The Office of the Chief Imam, the General Secretary of the Chairman of the National Peace Council. The Chief Imam. Can we have the chairperson of the National Peace Council join him? Reverend Dr. Ernest Edujenfi. This is a very solemn ceremony, but I'm sure if our masks were removed, you would see the very broad smiles behind our masks. We're very proud of this moment as a country in the progress of our democracy. Well, you can go ahead and give a round of applause to Ghana. We also want to remind you that the event is being live streamed on Facebook and YouTube at IDEC Ghana. Live tweet post with hashtag at IDEC Peace Pact. So you can send in your comments at IDEC Peace Pact. We are broadcasting live on GBC TV. It's also streaming live on the National Peace Council Facebook page. While we witness the signing, may I respectfully ask you to fill your forms. You were given some registration forms. If you could please fill them, the ushers will come round and pick them. We respectfully ask you to fill those forms, if you please. The conveners of the 2020 Presidential Peace Pact are the Office of the Chief Imam, the National Peace Council, the National Peace Council. My Lord. May you all be seated, please. Thank you very much, my Lord, the Chief Justice of Ghana, for administering the Peace Pact. The opportunities for photographs to be taken. You can go ahead while we call upon Mr. Patrick Oka. Patrick around?
So that was, which is currently ongoing at the Movenpick Hotel. It's the signing of a peace pact between the two major presidential candidates, that is former President John.
Avivia de la Signe, Dibe Magina Veno TV. Avivia de la Signe, Dibe Magina Veno TV.
Agonami, nkonye Sera Music, Mekbona Aveno TV, Hesiai.
Lelele.